In our vocabulary list number 33, we're going to learn about actions, things that we do, or things, words that we use to talk about what we do. So the first sign is allow. That means to let something, or if you're permitted to do something, it's allowed. So you want two flat hand shapes with your palms facing each other, but you're going to point your fingers out in front of you this way. And then you're going to do a little dip with your wrist. Allow, or let, or permit. Okay. Next, we have appear, or to show up. So you want a flat hand shape on your non-dominant hand, the one you don't write with, and put your palm down. But you want your fingers spread just a tiny bit because this hand has to go through it. So you want a number one on this hand, the hand that you write with, and then you're going to just bring it up, and it pokes through those for your first two fingers right there. So it goes like this. That means to appear or to show up. The opposite then is to disappear. So you start with the sign this way and you bring it down. That's something that disappeared. Sometimes people will bend their finger as they bring it down, but not all the time. So disappear, appear. The next sign is try, or an attempt. So this could be signed actually with three different hand shapes, but the rest of the sign is all the same, the movement and the palm orientation and everything. So one way of doing it is with S hand shapes, and you bring it so your palms are facing each other like that. And then you kind of push them out away from you like this. Try. Let's get back just a little bit. Try, or attempt. You can also do this with an A hand shape instead. Try, or attempt. And I've also seen it with a T hand shape as well. I would say the A hand shape is the most common, but you can do whichever one you want. I do it with an S hand shape. The next sign is to change, or to make an adjustment to something. So you want two X hand shapes. You're going to bring your palms together and then twist them around. So your palms will always stay facing each other, but your wrists move. So first, your X's will be kind of like pointing up, and then they'll be pointing sideways. Okay, so change, change, or adjust. Especially if you do it really small. It's just a little adjustment. So the next sign is don't care. Like if I say, do you want to have pizza or spaghetti tonight for dinner? And you say, I don't care. So you want an O hand shape on your dominant hand, the one that you write with. And then you're going to touch your nose with it, with all your fingers. And then you just open your hand up to a five hand shape. And your face should look like you don't care. The opposite of don't care is kind of hard to determine in ASL because there isn't really a sign for care. There are two ways that you can sign that kind of concept of caring. One is to cherish something. So you want two, well, they're kind of bent five hand shapes, and you're going to touch your chin and then bring them down into S hand shapes. So cherish, cherish means I care. Something is valuable. I cherish it. It's also how you would say, dear Mr. Jones. Like if you're writing a letter or something, hey, dear Mr. Jones, he's so dear, dear, cherish, or care. All right, another way of saying that you care about something is that you're concerned about it. So when you sign concern, you have two five hand shapes, but you bring that middle finger out just a little bit. It's the same as we learned for why, and the same as we learned for 25. Okay, so that's the hand shape. And then you put it over your heart and you just kind of go back and forth. Tap, 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 tap. That means you're concerned about something. You care about it. You're concerned. Next is the sign for include, but it is also the sign for involve. So if somebody is included in something, they're involved in it, right? So do you remember how we signed in before? It's almost like that with those squished O handshakes, only you don't just go straight in with your dominant hand, the hand that you're right with. Instead, you kind of start with a five and you kind of grab everything first and then you go in. So that means include or involve. Next is one of my favorite signs, is the sign laugh. So you want a one hand shape or you can do an L hand shape and you just go back and forth here. Touch, 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 touch by your mouth. Laugh, laugh, laugh. The next one is smile. So to show a smile, I think this is so cute. You do two, it's almost like a squished O hand shape, but you don't actually touch your fingers and your thumb together. Can you see that? That's the hand shape. It reminds me a little bit of sandwich. Do you remember learning that? It's a little like that. That's the hand shape. So you're going to start with that hand shape for smile. And then you're going to start here where your mouth is, and then you're going to curve up to a smile. And you should probably smile, right, when you're signing it. That makes your expression make sense in ASL. All right, so the next sign is invite. You want a flat handshake bent in half like that. You want your palm to face up. And what you're going to kind of pretend to do is bring somebody towards you. Invite. And it kind of ends down here at your waist. Invite, invite, invite. Now, if you are being invited, it can go this way. I was invited to over there. But if you're inviting someone, then they're going to come here. So it's invite, invite. The next sign is lead. If someone's going to lead the way, that's how you do it. Flat hand shape on your non-dominant hand, the hand that you don't write with. And then actually, the dominant hand can be two different ways. I sign it this way. It's kind of like that sandwich handshake that we talked about before, only you grab your hand. So you grab and lead. You grab it and pull it, and that means lead. I've also seen it with just an eight hand shape that you grab it with, like that. So you can do it that way or this way, and it means lead. Let's see. The next two are arrive and depart. So if you get somewhere or your train gets there or your plane gets there, it arrives. So you want two flat hand shapes. Your non-dominant hand, the hand you don't write with, just kind of sits there. And then your dominant hand, which of course always does the moving, as you know, starts kind of up here by your shoulder and then it comes here. Arrive, arrive. It doesn't touch your shoulder, it's just kind of near your shoulder. Arrive. I've also seen people do kind of a flip before it gets there, a little flip, flip with the wrist instead of just straight. So either one is fine. Depart or leave is kind of the opposite of arrive, right? With arrive, your palms, you can see them. With depart, you start with your palms face down. It's still a flat hand shape, but your palms face down. And then you come up and you can either do an A hand shape or an S hand shape. I learned it with an A, so that's how I always do it. But if you leave or your plane departs, that's how you sign it. Depart or leave. Practice. If you are practicing ASL, then on your non-dominant hand, you want a one with your palm facing down. And then you want an A hand shape on your dominant hand, the one you write with, the one that does the moving when you make a sign. And you're going to go back and forth, back and forth. So it's this part of your hand right here that's touching the finger. Okay, so that's practice. And you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We're going to sign next start and stop. So to start or to begin is a five hand shape on your non-dominant hand. Turn your palm to face the side, face sideways. You want a one on your dominant hand, the hand you write with, and you're going to put it in between these two fingers. Put it in between, and actually you start with your palm away from you, and then you turn it so your palm is towards you. So if you're looking at your hand, you don't see your palm yet, and then when you turn it, oh, there it is, right? There it is right there. Okay, so that's start. Start. To stop, There are kind of two ways to show this, but the sign itself, stop, is it's two flat hand shapes. You want your non-dominant hand with your palm facing up, and your dominant hand is going to face sideways, and you're just going to hit it. Stop, stop, stop. If you want to, I think I'm going to go out of order just a little bit. If something stops because it's just finished, right? Like you go to school in the morning and then in the afternoon it stops because it's over, it's done, then you would use finish. So you want your two five hand shapes. You start with when you're looking at your palms and then you turn your palms away. That means finish. That means it's over, it's done, it's in the past. Another way of saying to stop or to finish is end. So if something is ending, like it's your last day of swimming lessons or something, end, end. So again, it's two flat hand shapes. Your non-dominant hand has your palm facing you. Your dominant hand is your palm facing sideways. And you just kind of, you don't touch the end of your fingertips here, but it kind of looks like you do. End, end. The next two signs are with and without. So for with, you want two A hand shapes and you just bring your palms together, and that means with. When you say without, you start with and then you just drop it. Without. The last three signs are stay, and then sports, and then music. So stay is two Y hand shapes, but you push your palms down and you use your non-dominant hand. You kind of touch your thumbs together here. You use your, I might have said non-dominant, but you use your dominant hand to move because the dominant hand does the moving, and you just bring it down a little bit. Stay, stay. I have seen it where both of the hands come down, but I typically sign it that way. So sports is two thumbs up hand shapes. And then you're going to bring them together, kind of like you did for with, only your thumbs are sticking up. And then you're going to pretend that this is a little guy and this is a little guy. And they keep pulling ahead of each other in their sports. They're racing, or one of them's winning and then the other one's winning, and that's sports. Okay. Music, you want your arm out this way, your non-dominant, yeah, non-dominant arm. And then you want a flat hand shape on your dominant hand, and you're going to kind of come back and forth, kind of like you're leading music, okay? But right down here. So it's down this way. Music. And there you have it. That is Vocabulary List 33, where we learned a lot of different actions and things that we do.